everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley for those of you who are new here. So today's video we are going to be doing a Sunday dinner kind of themed around P.F. Chang's. I kind of wanted some Chinese, so I figured why not do it at home. So I have some air fryer egg rolls for anybody who is new to the air fryer. These are super simple and so much better than the store-bought. You can also put like ground pork or ground chicken in there. I just did vegetable, which is perfectly fine. But you can kind of play with it and put whatever you want into it. But if you don't know how to roll an egg roll, this is perfect for you. So I also am doing a Mongolian beef. That's the P.F. Chang's copycat recipe. It is in the Instant Pot, but I think that the recipe that I have also has like a stovetop recipe for the same exact flavor and everything. But yes, this week's theme is going to be Instant Pot. So if you guys are new to your Instant Pot or want really cool different recipes for your Instant Pot that you may or may not have tried, stick around because this whole week I have Instant Pot recipes. I think I did a total of 4 this week, which would include today. So yeah, we had a lot of leftovers, so we didn't do a full week of cooking. So yeah, just stay tuned this week. I will definitely have that video up for y'all who are interested. So let's get into this video. Alright y'all, so I'm starting out with the egg rolls. So the first thing I'm doing is taking this half of a head of cabbage that I just had laying out in the fridge. I'm cutting off the parts that got a little bit too dried out, and I'm just chopping it down so that it's super thin and in bite-sized chunks. So the next thing that I'm doing is I'm taking 2 carrots and I'm washing them off. I really wish I would have remembered that my grater was broken. If I did, I would have picked up another one when I went to the grocery store to get all this stuff, but it is what it is. So you see me just chopping the pieces super fine, that like literally as thin as possible without using the grater, but don't be like me. Make sure you have your grater. I've been putting it off for a while. I mean, I've had one in my Amazon cart for like 3 months now and just haven't really gotten around to doing it, but that was definitely a good reminder. I'm getting myself a new grater. I definitely don't mind chopping these though, because it is a little bit therapeutic to me, but still it would have saved on so much time had I just used the grater. So if you have your grater, make sure you grate your carrots. If you don't, this is how you chop them super thin to where they are not going to be hard inside of your egg roll. So now I'm going to be dicing up and adding in 2 full green onions or scallion, depending on what you call them. Make sure you wash your scallion. I know the clip looked like I didn't, but I don't know, editing somehow it did that, but I definitely did wash both of my scallions. So make sure you wash them and then dice them up pretty finely so that you're not getting huge chunks in each egg roll. So now to that mixture, I'm going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, as well as 2 teaspoons of crushed ginger. I buy my ginger in these freezable packets. They're just super easy because we don't use ginger that often. And so it's really great. You can just pop however many you need out and then refreeze it so you're not wasting ginger. Now I'm also going to add some black pepper to this mixture. It really just goes by your taste. If you like black pepper, probably use more. I thought I used enough, but when I tasted the egg rolls, I felt like I could have used just a touch more. Now I'm putting in some sesame oil to an already hot pan and tossing that mixture into the pan to let it kind of cook down. Not until the vegetables are like fully soft, but just keep tossing them and monitoring them so that you can see if they're cooked enough to go inside the egg roll but not fully cooked to where they're mush. So now you'll start to see that my vegetables are cooked down quite a bit, and I just added in a couple of splashes of soy sauce and turned off the heat. So these are the egg roll wrappers that I'm using. They're pretty simple to work with. They have instructions on the back if you are a little bit confused on how to wrap an egg roll. So you're going to start with one on a flat surface. You're also going to need a little bowl of water just to dip your fingers into. You're going to start with the egg roll as a diamond shape in front of you instead of a square. You put 1 scoop of mixture into the very middle, making sure that you're not adding too much, because if you overfill, it's going to be hard to wrap. You take that bottom piece and you wrap it over top of the vegetables, tucking it in underneath the vegetables, and then you take each side, fold those in, and then you dip your finger into the water and put it on the very top so that you have a sealant when you roll it all the way over. It's pretty simple. It looks a little bit difficult, but after you start doing this a couple of times, you'll really get the hang of it. It's really not that hard after you've done it a few times. It's actually pretty fun. I had a great time rolling these, and it was one of the first times that I've ever rolled an egg roll, and I think they came out perfect. So now that my egg rolls are all rolled, I'm just getting my air fryer basket. I'm spraying some cooking spray on both sides of the egg rolls just so that you can get that crisp that you would normally get in a regular fryer. If you skip this step, it will still be crisp, but it won't be like Chinese store crisp. I don't know how to explain it. It'll be more like oven baked. But this recipe made so many that I was able to air fry 6 for dinner. as well as freeze 8 others for future dinners. This is also a great recipe to use like if you have any extra cabbage and carrots, because summertime is coming up and I have a lot of gardening friends who are always looking for recipes to use up their produce. So look at just how beautiful these came out. They look very authentic. They look like I bought them from a store, but I promise you guys, you saw the process. I did roll these by myself. You can also add ground chicken or ground pork to give it some meat. Now on to the Instant Pot Mongolian beef. I start out with just a pound of flank steak. You can do also a pound and a half if you have more people. This was only serving just a couple of people, so I opted out for just the smaller cut. I did have a hard time pulling this apart because I took it out of the freezer that morning and it wasn't all the way thawed out, but honestly, cutting it in that state is a lot easier for whatever reason. Flank steak is a more tender piece of steak, so when you have it just a tad bit frozen in the middle, cutting it into the pieces that you need is so much simpler. Plus the Instant Pot is great about cooking down frozen meat as compared to stovetop. You can also do it on the stovetop, but the Instant Pot is a great method for cooking down frozen meat. So I'm just cutting these into strips and then cutting the strips into smaller bite-sized pieces. So I'm showing you guys essentially the size of the pieces that you would want. So I would say they're about an inch long, if not a little bit less than that. So now after I cut up all of my pieces, I'm going to transfer them into a bowl and wash the meat off as per usual. I just use water and lemon juice to wash this steak off. And then I transferred it into a see-through bowl for you guys. Then you pat the meat dry with some paper towels because you're going to add cornstarch, and if it's not all the way dry, it's going to make like a really nasty wet mess in the bottom of your bowl. So I'm just adding in a half a cup of cornstarch, and I'm going to mix that up until all the meat is coated. So now into a separate bowl, I'm going to be mixing up my sauce. When I initially looked at the measurements, it was really hard because I'm not one for trusting the process, but it did seem a little bit excessive, but I'm telling you, this sauce was perfect. It was not dry at all, and it had so much excess sauce. I usually love that in a recipe. So I'm mixing 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Sorry, I didn't have like a 3/4 cup measurement, so I had to use the 1/4 3 times, but it's fine, same thing. I'm also mixing in 3/4 of a cup of soy sauce. Now I'm mixing in a half a cup of beef broth. A teaspoon and a half of garlic minced. Now I'm going to be putting in 1 cube or 1 teaspoon of the crushed ginger. Now the recipe also called for 2 teaspoons of rice vinegar, which I could have swore I had, and I passed it about 17 times in the grocery store, but I really thought I had it. I actually had white wine vinegar. The recipe still worked out beautifully with this, so if you have the rice vinegar, use the rice vinegar. If not, if you do have white wine vinegar, that will work so perfectly. You did not taste the difference. I'm also adding in 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. Be very careful with this. It is such a strong taste. If you've never used it before, take it slow. And then I'm also adding in some crushed red pepper flakes. Alright, so now while I was mixing the sauce together, I had my Instant Pot on the saute mode until it got hot. The recipe did say to add olive oil and then to brown the meat. I will be very honest, I knew in my head that that was a bad idea because olive oil at a very high temperature tends to burn. I should have used the vegetable oil, but I was really trying to go with the recipe as much as possible. Please use vegetable oil. The olive oil made everything stick super bad. So after that meat is brown, I'm just going to pour that sauce over top of it and then put my Instant Pot top on, set it to sealing for 10 minutes. After that, I just did a quick release of the steam and look at how beautiful this turned out. You could do a cornstarch slurry if you want your sauce a little bit thicker, but this was perfect. So this is how plates turned out. This was super delicious. So we have the hand-rolled egg rolls, the beef, and then I paired it with this vegetable fried rice from Innovation. This is a really great fried rice. I could have made it from scratch, but I just chose to do it a little bit simpler. And I topped the meat with the everything bagel seasoning. You could also just use sesame seeds. Alright guys, so I hope you really enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you are not subscribed, I would love it if you would stick around and hit the subscribe button and join the family, and make sure that you follow my page for all other videos that I have if you're looking for any cooking inspiration, or if you just like vlogs. I vlog every once in a while. So yeah, we will see you in the next video. Bye everybody.